A22.
Hello, hashtag First TV family, and welcome. I'm Aaron Mack. I'm very, very thrilled, very happy to have you here. Very much. Thank you for sticking with hashtag First TV through everything. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. And topics, right? Better because subtitle hashtag millennials from HuffPost.com hashtag VerseTV A23 A22 A yes and hashtag kinda curated 22 hashtag prenup or prenuptial. And this, of course, from at tonight's conversation, hashtag VerseTV A22B, and the underrated hype TV A22 is this week Never Say Goodbye by JoJo from her self titled debut album entitled JoJo, circa 2004. And from at, I'm using the video clip from at Emotional Bliss, and that's hashtag VerseTV A22C. And that's all coming up this week on hashtag VerseTV. Okay, like I just went right past it. I have notes for a reason, but A22, week 270. And welcome, welcome. And we'll go straight into our randomly selected question of the week. And I didn't look at it before, but here it is. What drives you to do what you do? Oh, so well. A lot of stuff drives me, and I'm taking it way back for you all. But I remember when my mommy passed away in college while I was in college. And the dean of the School of Communications called me in to meet with her. And because, like I said, she passed away on a Saturday, I was back in school that Monday. And she called me in to meet with her. She's like, Aaron, I just heard what happened. I have one, excuse me, one question for you. Why are you here? And that's when I broke down into tears and I was like, well, it's because I know that my mom would want to see me graduate college and she wouldn't want me to give up. And she's a strong woman who won't give up on things. And she taught me that growing up. She's like, she is a strong woman. I'm a man and I am comfortable with being a man. She showed me how her tenacity, and I'm not going to lie, my dad showed me his tenacity as well. I remember when he directed this off off Broadway play when I was a kid, and the amount of work that he put in those long nights, like stuff like that, sort of motivates me. And motivates me also, in addition to my mom, this is both of my parents, oh my God, to just being strong and sticking in there and doing it. And why do I do what I do? I'd like to think, here, as far as a reason with the hashtag Verse TV, why do I do what I do with hashtag Verse TV? What's going on with this is I always go back to this, how in spite of having a wonderful upbringing and everything else, I it took me a long time to learn how to love myself. And I feel that presenting that which I am presenting on hashtag Verse TV, other people, like in a small way, and honestly, everything that I do on social media. And I remember I made my first YouTube video on social media when I was 25. I still remember that. And I was living all the way in Edgemere, Maryland. Oh my gosh, that's another story. But when I was, everything that I do on social media, I like to think that me presenting my honest truth, my honest personal experience in things can encourage people to live their truth honestly and being who they are honestly. I used to say for the show hashtag Verse TV, I was like, oh, if only I had a hashtag. This when other people were on the show. I was like, if I had a hash and it, if I had a hashtag Verse TV when I was 19, in college or and stuff, I would have learned to love and accept myself sooner. And maybe I would not have met the men that I met looking for love in all the wrong bedrooms when I did. And I think each person is different, and that's true. And I do see benefit in me having. I feel like talking like this. I sound like I was I was a prostitute back in the day. No, I wasn't. I just I seeing people live honestly through different things. Like I honestly, hand raised. I'm a Christian, and I'm gay, and I'm black, and I'm all of that, you know. And I'm in a relationship with a man who is international. He's still black, but yeah, it black, but well, no, I think he's. I was gonna say black by American standards, and yes, he is, but I think he's pretty globally accepted as black. Anyway, whatever. Because again, race is a social construct. Yes, it is, and it varies greatly from country to country, from country to country. Honestly. Anyway, my song this week is 2024's No Lie by oh, it's an incredible pairing. The two of my favorites, Layla Hathaway featuring, drumroll please, Michael McDonald. Oh my gosh. Yes. And it's from her new album, 2024's album, Vanta Black. Oh, everything Vanta Black. And it's such a, and I told one of my other friends back east that I'll start calling it back east, just yesterday actually, how Layla Hathaway's Vanta Black is on heavy rotation for me right now. Like the first time Layla Hathaway is interesting in that it seems like she has a way of doing this with albums or having them be like, I don't know what it is. But the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, well, I guess not everything can be a banger that I love listening to all the time, but okay. And then I gave it another listen, and oh my gosh, I love that album all the way through every single track, start to finish. And it's interesting that she called the album Vanta Black because I remember I first heard that term from a beautiful, beautiful man who I follow on Instagram. And he talked about, he's very beautiful chocolate, dark chocolate. Yes. And he talked about how when he was in school, and his name is Instagram name is at swaggy_mo. His real name is Michael Maboye. And I hope that saying it so quickly made it sound like I'm pronouncing it correctly. But yes, his first name is Michael. And I don't know if I guess he grew up here or something, but he talked about how the kids used to always make fun of him for being so beautiful dark chocolate. And it makes me think about the fact that it's interesting how that thing that people pick on kids about for being different. Ooh, and this is hashtag Verse TV all the way. The thing that kids get picked on for being different can turn around and be that thing that takes them to brand new higher heights. Because he is a very successful model. He's not just he's not like an Instagram model. He has Instagram and he does Instagram videos with his beautiful self. Yes, he's not an Instagram model. He is an actual, I guess, print model, print and anyway, visual model, whatever. And he is successful with it, very successful. And it's amazing. He was like, the kids in school used to always pick with me and make fun of me. And they'd even call me stuff like Vance. He's like, and I don't know what the word is, but they call me stuff like Vanta Black, and I don't even know what that is. And I looked it up, and Vanta Black is the blackest kind of black. And then a few weeks later, Layla Hathaway comes out with a phenomenal album entitled Vanta Black. Won't everything Vanta Black? Anyway, oh my gosh, yes. So love Layla Hathaway and the song No Lie. I'm gonna love you forever, and that's no lie. Layla Hathaway featuring Michael McDonald. Exceptional. Exceptional. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, share again, and don't forget to click like. Thanks.
Better because. Subtitle hashtag millennial, HuffPost.com, hashtag VerseTV 822A. Why do millennials appear to be aging slower? Here's the answer. There's an ongoing conversation about why millennials look younger for their age, while Gen Z looks older for their age. Experts say this could be why. By Brittany Wong, July 5th, 2024, 5:45 a.m. EDT, updated July 6th, 2024.
Part of HuffPost Style and Beauty, 2024 BuzzFeed Inc., all rights reserved. What's hot? Lately, there's been heightened conversation online about how millennials don't look their age. How is it that Bridgerton star Nicola Coughlan is 37 but genuinely looks 19, the age of her character Penelope Featherington on the show? How is it that people born in 1993 are now the same age as George Costanza in the first season of Seinfeld 31 while looking about a decade younger? So sorry to throw you under the bus here, Jason Alexander. We love your work. Advertisement? What might be most interesting about the discourse is that a lot of it's coming from Gen Z, the generation born right after millennials. Conversely, many General Zers say they feel like they're aging like spoiled milk. We live in a time where millennials look way younger for their age while General Z looks way older for their age. TikTok influencer Jordan Howlett, 27, said in a viral video from January with over 24.8 million views, "I am Gen Z and nobody ever believes me," Howlett said. "When my mom and I walk out in public, people think that my mom is my younger sister." Howlett once asked The Rock for an autograph for himself, only to have the actor assume Jordan was his son and sign the autograph. "Your dad is a great guy. He stood out here for hours." "Dude, Dwayne is 52. I am 26 what?" the influencer joked in the viral video. Jordan Thestele Night. Hashtag Stitch with Staying Up Podcast. Hashtag FYP. Original sound, Jordan Thistler. Howlett points to work and economic hardships plaguing his generation as the culprit for premature aging. While that might be, there's a key element that's missing from the conversation about the different experiences of aging among millennials. A group aged around 28 to 43 as of 2024, and General Z, a group that spans ages 12 to 27.
Article continues below.
Okay, so first of all, I have to defend George Costanza, Eric Alexander from Seinfeld, because it's like that was kind of the whole purpose of his character, to look a little bit older than the rest. It's not like it's oh, Gen X is just, everybody is just so much older. No, that was George Costanza's purpose. And also, they said no shade to George Costanza, Eric Alexander, but I also have to say I love the show Duckman, which is voiced by Eric Alexander. So pump the brakes on coming for Eric Alexander. And also Jerry Seinfeld, and I don't remember the names of the others. I'm sorry, but they looked age appropriate for the show. Anyway, but an Uber driver that I had recently, actually, because I told him, I was like, on an upcoming show of hashtag Burst TV, be on the lookout. On an upcoming show of hashtag Burst TV, I will be discussing this topic. And he sort of had me realize inadvertently, he didn't say so much exactly, but he sort of had me realize, this is kind of a silly topic. Not to the extent that it's like different people age at different rates, and that's okay. And the art of the Uber driver, this particular Uber driver, is a fellow millennial, and I was in the back seat and I was talking to him while he was driving, and I was like, oh my gosh, like as a fellow, because I actually got him twice in the same week, which is very rare, but whatever. But I I was like, yeah, us millennials look younger. Like, isn't that super cool? And he was like, I would have to look at individual Gen Zers and pay close attention to them and determine if on average they look older or younger. But that it's not an obvious guess of mine. And I was like, huh. That is true because different people, different humans age at different rates. Now, the article went on deep. It was another very long article. But deeper in the article, it explained that, well, the reason that millennials are aging so much better than everybody else is because they have been always making sure to use sunscreen. And when I heard them say that in the article, I was like, you know what? That makes sense because I know some people. I I have anecdotal empirical evidence because I know some people who really use sunscreen, and they're also millennials. And I sort of took that and ran with it, but that's exactly how rumors spread. I'm sick of rumors. Here's another million points. I'm sick of rumors starting. I'm sick of being followed. Something or something about me. I will give a million points to whoever can name that song. I'm sick of rumors starting. Anyway, but yes, that's how rumors and stuff spread, and people feel like, oh, well, I know one person who matched the thing that this person said happens. So since I know one example, I'm gonna go ahead and say that everybody does match that. And it's like we do it for what we want to do it for, which is so interesting. I remember years ago, back when I was very heavy onto what I would do, listening to the Focused on the Family podcast and very much into such things. And, oh, what is going on? I was very much into such things. And I remember one guy explained that for the sake of this example, race is relevant. He was white, and he was saying that his grandfather used to say, all black people are lazy trash. Lazy trash. That's just true. And he would be like, what about so-and-so who lives up the street from us? And he was like, that's a good black person. That's a good black family. But everybody else is lazy trash. And it's like, wow. And he said that he had to sit with that for a while because he's like, the only black person that you know contradicts this rumor. I'm sick of rumors, this rumor that you've heard, and you still believe what you choose to believe in spite of that because you're conditioned to believe it. It's like people are complicated. Yes, we are. Also, yeah, so in the article, they did say yes, millennials actually smoke less nicotine than Gen Z and Gen X, because technically millennial were also known, aka Gen Y. But what I actually looked that up, and that's not quite what it is. It's not that we smoke so much less than Gen X and Gen Z, because I was about to run with that. I was about to say, yes, well, of course, that's why we're aging better because we don't smoke. And smoking is bad, but that's not true. And another article I read about that was like, yeah, no, uh, Gen Z and Gen X or Gen Z and millennials have kind of just exchanged cigarettes for e-cigarettes and vaping and all of that stuff, but they still do it at the same amount and they still smoke at the same amount. Now they just also do this e-cigarette thing in addition to the regular. So it's like, okay, We're not better with that, but whatever. It's different people age at different rates. And as for Jordan underscore the underscore stallion 8, that's his name. That's who is referenced in the article, being 27. And at the time he recorded this particular viral video, he has millions of followers, millions of followers, millions of followers. And as far as that particular video where he was like, The Rock mistook me for my dad, and I'm Gen Z, or I'm only 20. At the time he did it, he was 26. I'm only, actually, I think he said he was 26. It's like, I'm only 26 years old, Mr. Rock, sir, you know, but different people age differently. And that's just true. Now, and this goes back to what I was saying from Focus on the Family, how hearing this one article talking about Gen Z aging faster, I would have been prepped to look at other Gen Z, not other, look at Gen Z people from the lens of Gen Z actually looks older. So, and that's not fair. Yeah. And also, it's okay that different people have different looks. That's actually a beautiful thing. And that goes back to what we were saying. I'm connecting everything today for us because that goes back to what we were saying at the beginning of the video about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful model man who they used to make fun of him and call him Vanta Black, but different people have different looks. I'm not going to go into too much of that, so I won't, but just know that I was thinking about something. And if you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell. That's about all I know of that song. But I know that it came out when I was a kid. And anyway, but yeah, 90s. And different people look differently. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. And they talk about aging, and Jordan underscore the underscore stallion 8 was like, yeah, we have a lot of stress in life, and that's why we're aging so much faster. And it's like, no, I think we all, particularly at that age, our 20s is a difficult time for many, for many. And once you get through it, you'll find things get better. It can be very difficult in your 20s. So, and I remember the woman who I say is the woman I would have married if I was a heterosexual man. I remember when we were in our 20s, her saying to me, things are just so uniquely difficult for us in being in our 20s. Like sometimes we just have to have a moment of, because things are so uniquely difficult. And I was like, yeah, at that time. But now I'm like, no, I think the 20s is just a complicated time. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, share again, and don't forget to click like. Thank you.
Hashtag kinda curated A22. Subtitle hashtag prenup at tonight's conversation. Hashtag first TV A22B. If your significant other presents you with a prenup before your wedding, would you sign it? Why or why not?
How soon before the wedding? Because uh, I trust you all, hashtag Burst TV. And being that hashtag Burst TV equals potentially the entire internet, maybe that's too much trust. But look, anyway, let me stop. I've talked prenup before with my current, and I think actually the first guy that I thought I was going to marry, but that didn't happen. And I was like, prenup, even with my current, who I will marry in the not too distant future. And even though I don't own anything, I don't own a house. I live in an apartment. And now I don't even own a car. But my thing about the prenup is what I would wanted to say is you promise to not try to take palimony from me. And I know a very close friend of the family who I know, like I'm trying to make up a way to describe this, but basically he knows somebody who took palimony, a woman taking palimony. There's alimony for a woman, palimony for a man. And when a person takes palimony from a man, his story is this person he knew was married and broke up with this other person and refused to get married again because they did not want the palimony to stop. So even though she was very closely connected to other people, would not get married because did not want palimony to stop. Oh, well, technically, no. It would be palimony from me because I'm a man who would be with a man. So when it goes to a man, I think it's called palimony. When it goes to a woman, it's alimony. Anyway, I mixed things all up, whatever. And I guess that's probably for the best because I don't need to be sharing too much anyway. And my biggest concern was that palimony. And I think about like the singer Tyrese and like I said, I don't own a doggone thing. And that I had to be kind of put in my place about that when it comes to the prenup thing, prenuptial agreement. And there's also postnup though. But anyway, I know Tyrese, the singer Tyrese, recently divorced, and the woman he divorced, they were only married for a short period of time, but because of the fact that he makes a lot of money, you know, the not ride fast, But the whatever that movie series that he's in, that die no doesn't matter. But that show, he makes a lot of residuals on that. And the woman he was with, and he went on video about this because there was divorce can be messy. And he went on video and he was like, when I first got with you, you said you don't care about my money. You're not here for my money. You're here for me and my love. And even if we were to divorce, you would just go back to life as you were before. And my money doesn't matter to you. But in the actual divorce, he was saying that she was actually working to get I think $22,000 a month from him in alimony. Alimony, not child support, because I don't think they have a child together, but alimony. And he was like, you said you don't care about my money, but apparently she did. And even this other person, worked a very pedestrian job and had to pay alimony. Anyway. And also, as far as divorce can be very difficult, very complicated for people. And I remember back in the day, a few years ago at this point, time flies, you guys. But when Yuri was on the show, she was talking about how, and she makes good money herself, but she was like, when I marry a man, I will, if we divorce, I want to make sure that he leaves our marriage with nothing. Nothing. I want to make sure that everything is taken away from you. And it's like, wow, she wasn't even married with that perspective. But that's how some people can be. And I've been told by people who have been divorced, even people I've dated who've been divorced, that people change. And that can be very complex. And I also mentioned this just because, but among the other laws that I've learned, if somebody moves, and this will be to potentially help whoever is out there, depending on your state, if you move in with your partner, if your partner moves into your home and lives there for X amount of time, depending on your state, you cannot kick them out without proper notice. Because technically, even if they didn't pay you 1 red cent after a certain amount of time, they are considered a resident and a tenant. And you have to treat them as such and give proper notice to leave the dwelling. It's just FYI, there are a lot of complicated things out there. Anyway, now as far as prenups, I know some of my the finance gurus that I like to follow on social media. I know I'm such a millennial, you guys, but finance gurus such as Dave Ramsey and fellow millennial Ramit Sethi. I believe what they were saying is ultimately it comes down to if your money is tied up correctly, you won't have to worry about such things. And I think even Ramit Sethi spoke to the fact that whether or not you actually sign a formal prenup for yourself, you have a prenup. It's called the laws of the state in which you live. So that's a thing as well for the prenup. So it's like, okay, that's a thing. I will also say yes and no to that. Oh my gosh. As far as tying things up tightly, I think things can be taken away under the right law circumstances, no matter what. For example, I remember now DC has come a long way. And I remember my granddad was in a house that had been in the family for decades. And as DC was moving up, 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 they wanted to move certain people out, out, out. And they straight up, the government of DC took the house. But because of my granddad's tenacity, this goes on. I'm connecting everything, you guys. But my granddad actually, being a Jehovah's Witness, he was very, very studied on the Bible. And Jehovah's Witnesses know that Bible. Period. I'm not arguing with you. Period. And what he did was he took some time when the city had taken the house. He actually studied the law and represented himself in court and actually won the house back. And it's like, wow, that was difficult. But he did it. Also, I'll say, a friend of mine years ago, his dad left him a number of houses. You know, that was one of those, like, I'm going to make sure my child is set for life, plus generational wealth. Buzz turn. And as soon as his dad passed away, the state came in and they took every single house from him and said, you know what? You're lucky we don't take the house that you live in. But we're taking every single house from you. And it's not like he was in debt or anything like that. It's not like he or his dad were in debt. They just took it. So it's complicated. Ultimately, state law is your prenup. Like, share, subscribe, share again. Don't forget to click like. Thank you.
Hashtag underrated hype TV A22 Never Say Goodbye JoJo circa 2004 at Emotional Bliss hashtag First TV A22C.
All right, hashtag First TV family. So, guess that's another song I've loved for many years. And I remember I have so many memories attached to that song. Can you believe that album came out in 2004? Not only that, can you believe JoJo recorded that album at 13? 13. And she often speaks to that when she performs the song. How she's like, yeah, it was when she performs anything from that album. She's like, I was 13, singing these songs that I knew nothing about, but I just sang them. And it's like, sang her butt off to them. And lyrically, a lot of people are involved in songs. And lyrically, that's a very deep, powerful song. I actually just today, not today, but this past weekend, came up, paid extra attention to the lyrics, and it's like, wow, that is so deep, you know? When she says, and the clouds are going to clear and the sun's going to shine again. And what I would say years ago is I'd be like, this is because I can be a complicated dude. But when I would sing it at 19, well, no, 2004 I was 21. So what I would sing is I would sing, and the sun gonna shine the same, because I would say technically we can't say it's gonna shine again, because it's not that the sun ever stops shining. The sun is always shining. It's just whether or not we see it. So I would say, and the sun's going to shine the same. And yeah, ooh, wow, okay. Anyway, that's just awful for no reason. None. Hello, hello, do you hear me? Yes. But the clouds are going to clear and the sun going to shine again. And that's a deep line, especially because, again, she was very young still. Like, maybe that was like more appropriate of a song for somebody of like my age at that time. But even then, I was sort of slow in the development growing up age. When I grow up, anyway, but I'll give a million points anyway, Pussycat Dolls. But at that age, and I love songs, and again, many people were involved in the writing about fighting through stuff. Oh my gosh. And I just thought about my love, and I think there are some things that I'll hold on to. Hold on to your love. Anyway, and that's another one. Another million points. At this point, I'm giving away about 1 billion points, but points are free. They're free, meaningless. No, I'm kidding. But holding on to love, and when she talks about there might be some rain, there might be some difficult times, but the clouds are going to clear and the sun's going to shine. So let's make it last forever, our love. Oh, that's right. And also she sings, and I used to really connect with this, wishfully. The chorus is, no more lonely, no more just me. I've been there before. I'm not going no more. Ain't going no more. And it's like, because now that you're here, I'm never gonna say goodbye, love. I call my baby Love. I call him Love often when we chat. I'm like, okay, love, love, because he is love for me. Anyway, but yeah, it's, uh, as I've said on numerous occasions, coming up, I was often that solo just me dude. Not because I wanted to be, that's just what it was. And when she sings "No More Lonely, No More Just Me," I've been there before. I used to hear that and be like, "Oh, I am there. What are you talking about?" And just can't wait for the man so I can say, "I'm not going there no more. Ain't going no more." Anyway, yes, I love that song. And no, no, uh, I tried to fast type while the song was on, and I typed in Nore, Noriega. No, it's supposed to be note, Note, because the way I used to sing it was, "So let's make it last for ever love," and just belting for the sake of belting. I used to have a really good voice. I think so. Anyway, and I acknowledge I could get it back. I spoke with a friend of the family about that a few years ago at this point, back when I was living in Laurel. And I was like, yeah, I just sort of, I said this in reference to my falsetto range. And and I was like, yeah, I lost it. And he's a musician. And he's like, you can get it back. You just have to go back to practicing with it. And I acknowledge that. I just haven't made the time. I sing in church, sing with the congregation. I used to sing in the church choir. Now I just sing with the congregation mainly because it's over. For me, I do Zoom church to my Maryland church. Anyway. Yeah, and I remember my best friend actually he didn't put me on to that song, but he confirmed it's a great song. Personal affirmation time. Positive affirmations for self. Aaron, you are a wonderful camera. Aaron, you are a wonderful winner. Aaron, you are a beautiful catch. Aaron, you are intelligent and practical. Yes. Aaron, you are working on growing stronger. MS will not beat you. You're growing stronger. I went to the gym today, and I had to do church at gym. I did my thing, and afterwards I found a seat and watched my church service, participated while in the gym before coming back home. Aaron, you are determined. Determined. Yes. I love you, Aaron. You are worthy of all the wonderful. Talk to you later. Hashtag Burst TV family. Peace. Hashtag BurstTV.com. Stay blessed.